One of the ways in which we can challenge ourselves to think holistically or to connect peace with the work for democracy and sustainable development is actually to ask ourselves the reasons for all the wars that we fight. And when you think about these wars, whether they are at the national level, whether they are at the international level, often they are being fought over natural resources. Many of the conflicts at the national level are fought over resources because a small group of people want to control these resources at the expense of many. At the global level, it is those of us who have power, political, military, who are able to control resources. And the rest of us have to wait until they are dished out. And sometimes, of course, we don't wait, or sometimes even at the national level, we don't want to give space, and we get a conflict. And I can hardly think of any war that is not being fought over natural resources. And so the answer to the conflicts, and I don't want to oversimplify, but I just want to encourage people to look at the fights that we have and try to study them, is the answer to that is that we need to manage our national resources a little more responsibly. We need to bring into it equitable distribution. That is something that we have been fighting over. That is the reasons we speak for fair trade. We speak for WTO's regulations that don't bring in that equitable distribution. And we say that in order for people to be able to do that, there has to be greater democracy. There has to be greater participation of citizens at the national level, citizens at the global level, deciding how we want to share these resources. Now, if that space is not available, and that is the space I'm calling democratic space, whether that democratic space is at the local level or at the national level or even at the global level, if there is not that space, then of course people can do with the resources as they please. And if sooner than later, there will be conflict. And therefore, I was using, the other night, I was using the African stool, which has 3 legs, and I was saying that the 3 legs are the peace, democratic governance, and sustainable management of resources, equitable distribution of those resources. When you use the word sustainable, I know it's a very wide concept, and many of us in the environmental movement understand it. Those 3 legs, there is a basin that sits and which they support. The basin, to me, is the development. And once you have those 3 legs, now you can build development on them, and it will be balanced, and there will be peace, there will be development, there will be harmony. And for me, I'm not trying to say that there will be perfection. Perhaps it would be a dream to think that we can live in a perfect world, but definitely we would be able to reduce a lot of the conflicts that we have. And so I feel that what the committee did is challenge us to think a little more holistically, not to think in blocks of peace, of development, of sustainable management, of democracy, but to look at these issues as if they were part and parcel. They are the pillars upon which the house is built.